Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dhiya Rona Tsoraya. Today I want to do a thesis presentation about scanning technique by the 10th grade students of SMK Farmasi Alfurqon Banjarmasin in the academic year of 2018 and 2019. So, communication is essential for one person and in order to share information. English is one of the language used to communicate. In Indonesia, English is taught as a foreign language and compulsory subject for junior high school to university. There are four English skills: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Reading is an important gateway to personal development and to social, economic, and civic life. For students, reading is considered as important aspect because it gives valuable to developing knowledge. If we have good ability in reading, if we as a student will have a better chance to success in our study at school. Based on the preliminary study done at the 10th grade at SMK Farmasi Alfurqon Banjarmasin, the researcher got the data from an English teacher who said that the problem that mostly faced in classroom is the limitation time for the students to read. It happened because the common activity in the classroom is the combination between some skills and component of English. The result is the student lose their time because they are busy with difficult words and read every words in the text. To solve these problems, teachers should use special technique or methods to help students understand and achieve learning goals. And scanning a text is a reading technique where the reader look for specific informations rather than trying to absorb all the information. If students are reading a timetable, they want specific information usually and look for something that is convenient for them, journey plans. When they do this, they are scanning. By using the technique, the efficiency occurs. The aim of scanning technique is not to teach students how to scan, but to direct their attention to items they will need to attend to, particularly for study purpose. By using scanning technique, students can answer questions in the shortest time by the ideas above. The researcher is in this study refers to scanning technique as one of the reading strategies applied in the reading classroom activities. Hence, the present study is intended to investigate the research entitled Scanning Technique by the 10 grades students of SMK Farmasi Alfurqon Banjarmasin in the academic year of 2018 and 2019. And then reading. Reading is essentially a complex that involves many things, not just recite the text, but also involves a visual activity, thinking, physical linguistics, and metacognitive. As the visual process, reading is a process of translating written symbol letter into spoken words. As a process of thinking reading, activities include word recognition, literal comprehension, interpretation, critical reading, creative reading, and creative insight. Reading is a process when readers learn something from what they read and involve it an academic context as a part of education. And then Laila et al. State that in English learning, Reading is one of the main skills that must be mastered uh, by students to have language competence because the success of learning any subjects matters depend on the competence of reading. Students who like reading will gain new knowledge and insight that can increase their intelligence, such as reading books or texts that can increase students' vocabulary and language. Also affect the students because the more students read, the more vocabulary that they control and increasingly easier for them to speak. The same goes with the English language. Understanding of the text or books will facilitate students' English language. And then the definition of reading technique. The use of strategies in reading requires the reader to think how to approach the text in order to decode and retain information. Strategies chosen by learners are modified to fit the demands of the learning situation. The strategies used by the students must be different from one to another. There are some strategies in reading comprehension. First is identifying the purpose in reading. Efficient reading consists of clearly identifying the purpose in reading text. By identifying the purpose in reading before reading a text, the readers know what they are looking for and can without potentially distracting information. And second, using efficient silent reading technique. Silent reading is appropriate for intermediate and advanced students. This strategy leads the students to try inferring meaning from context. It is also best practice to make students become efficient readers. And then skimming is reading strategy in which the readers quickly run their eyes across a wall text. By skimming the text, the reader will be able to predict the purpose of the passage, the main topic, or the message, and supporting ideas. And then also there are scannings. Scanning is quickly searching for some particular piece or pieces of information in a text. The purpose of scanning is to extract specific information without reading through the whole text. And then guessing, where in this strategy, students try to guess the meaning of the word when they are not certain or they do not know the meaning of the word. And a grammatical relationship, a discourse relationship, a cultural reference, content message, and infer implied meanings. And then questioning, the strategy allows the students to have practice in making questions and then answering by themselves. The question that the question that should be made are those which can arouse their awareness of what they read. This will represent whether they have understood the text or not. And making prediction and inference predicting means that the readers are using their background knowledge to negotiate meaning of the text. They connect their background knowledge with the information from the text. In inference, the readers have to find some of the clues, then it to their background knowledge and past experience to interpret the meaning of the text. And then scanning technique. The readers know what they want to look for, so they are concentrating on finding a particular answer. Scanning involves moving the reader's eyes quickly down the page, seeking specific information without reading the whole text. The reader can use this strategy to look for the detailed information in the text, such as looking for the names or dates, finding the definition of a key concept, and listing a certain number of supporting details. In scanning, the reader wants to examine closely using a regular plain or text without making a search for something, looking at quickly without carefully reading, often looking for a particular thing. And then there are steps of scanning technique. First is keep in mind at all times what is the readers are searching for. If they hold the image of the word or idea clearly in mind, it is likely to appear more clearly than the surrounding words. And second, anticipate in what form the information is likely to appear, number, proper nouns, etc. And then analyze the organization of the content before starting to scan. If material is familiar or fairly brief, you may be able to scan the entire article in a single search. If the material is lengthy or difficult, a preliminary skimming may be necessary to determine which part of the article to scan. And then let your eyes run rapidly over several lines of print at time. And then when you find the sentence that has the information you seek, read the entire sentence. And then there are advantages and disadvantages. So the advantages, students are able to get information quickly, directly, and specifically. The students are practiced to think of clues to find the specific information. The students are stimulated to be creative and active in both asking and answering the question about the specific information and clues related to the text. The students are motivated to look for specific information and looking for clues they need in various types of text. And then the students are trained to run their eyes over text quickly in order to look at specific. And then the disadvantage of a scanning technique is sometimes the students ignore to select which one the most important information. And for some students who have difficult to comprehend and apply scanning as the technique in various texts, such as novel or short story, and their approach and type of research. In this research, the researcher choose quantitative approach. It means that the reader will analyze the data which will be collected statistically to gain the findings. The research use quantitative approach because it is related to calculation and analysis of numerical number. In the study, the type of research investigation in the study is descriptive. And then the population of this research is the students of the 10th grade at SMK Farmasi Alfurkon Banjarmasin. And then the sample, in choosing the sample for the study, the writer used total sampling method. And then the writer took um, 48 students from the classes which are XA and XB. Therefore, the class XA and XB represent the students of 10th grade at SMK Farmasi of Purkon Banjarmasin. And then the instrument, in this research, the researcher used the written test. A test, in simple term, is method of measuring a person's ability, knowledge of performance in a given domain. Okay, and then you see, so we can see the test results show that the highest score is 97 and the lowest score is 43. This score range from 43 to 97. Each of the scores is then interpreted using the classification with 5 categories. So each student's test score is labeled as either very good, good, moderate, low, and very low. Its classification group is then represented in percentage. From the table, we can see that the research results showed that there are 5 ability group found, about 80.8.3% for students, of the students have very good scanning ability, and then 12.5% 6 students are in the good scanning ability category. There are um, 33.4% 16 students that have moderate scanning ability. Most of students 37.5%, 18 students have low scanning ability, and for students, 8.3% have very low ability. And then we can see from the table above that most incorrect answer occurred in part G, which makes up 18.7%, 84 of all incorrect answers, and least incorrect answers were made in part B with 9.1%, 41 out of the total incorrect answer made. The incorrect answer in part A is 11.1%, 50 of the total incorrect answer. Part C makes up about 16.3%, 73. Part D 18%, 82, part 11%, 49, and part F 15.5%, 70. Based on the student statement, most incorrect answer occurred in part G because they are lack of vocabulary and not familiar with words in part G. So, okay, now we have discussions of research result. Given the highest percentage, given the highest percentage of 37.5 on the low classification, the researcher summarized that the scanning ability of 10th grade students of SMK Pharmacy outperformed in the academic year 2018 and 2019 is low. Okay, the conclusion. Okay. This research aimed to know how the scanning ability by the 10th grade students of SMK Pharmacy outperformed in the academic year 2018 and 2019. The level of scanning ability of the 10th grade student of SMK Pharmacy outperformed Banjarmasin in the academic year 2018 and 2019 is low. It is shown that the highest percentage from the total population is in the low scanning ability group. Specifically, there are 18 students, 37.5 in low level, for students 8.3 in very good level, 6 students 12.5% in good level, and 16 students 4.5% in moderate level, and 4 students 8.3% in very low level. From the comparison on each part of the test A, B, C, D, E, F, G, most incorrect answers are made on part G with 18%, 18.7%, 84 from the total of 449 incorrect answers made. Specifically, 11.1% incorrect answers were made in part A, 9.1% in part B, 16.3% in part C, 18.3% in part D, 11 in part E, and 15.5% in part F. So, the suggestion, the researchers allows a suggestion to SMK Pharmacy Alfurqan Banjarmasin can improve the students' scanning ability level into good or even very good level. It can be done by informing the students the general finding of this research, their difficulties in scanning particular parts of the reading materials, giving more exercise in scanning. Furthermore, the teacher can also do the regular monitoring the students who have moderate to very low scanning ability. The students of SMK Pharmacy Alfurqan Banjarmasin should be aware of their scanning ability found In this research, they can add more attention on understanding what they need from a reading material. And this can find specific information quickly and accurately. It also suggested that besides the reading material given by the teacher, they always practice their scanning ability by finding and reading and kind of reading material. Okay, so that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.